The alien empire asked humanity for protection only after every proud shield had failed. After the royal fleet came home as drifting coffins. After Valeth admitted her banners could not stop the hunger crawling toward her capital, she expected Earth to send a battalion. Instead, the shuttle opened and out stepped one guard in a gray coat. No polished metals, no escort. Just a rifle across his back, a sidearm at his hip, and eyes too tired to fear anything still alive. His name was Sergeant Elias Rook, though the translator rendered it as Wall That Bleeds, which made the court laugh until no one laughed anymore. He was 46, broad-shouldered, scarred, with hands that kept checking doors, shadows, exits. Princess Celira stood beside her mother's throne, violet eyes sharp with insult. "This is our protection," she said. One human guard, admirals muttered that one rifle could not defend an empire. Elias looked at the windows where stars shook under bombardment and said quietly, "I once held a planet alone. Your Majesty, a palace is smaller." That was the first silence. The planet had been Havenfall, a colony at the edge of human maps, 12 million civilians, one broken defense grid. And Elias assigned to Gate 7 because commanders thought nothing important would happen there. Then the Vorker swarm landed. Bone ships raining from orbit, acid walkers climbing walls. Every other gate collapsing in 6 hours, Gate 7 held for 9 days. Because he knew the cruel math of being last. He burned bridges after refugees crossed, collapsed towers at the right second, lead to dying soldiers so they would keep shooting, sang Earth songs so children would not hear screams. At rescue, they found him behind a mountain of dead. Rifle, empty, armor split, one hand on the gate lever. And no one behind him taken. Celira did not believe the story. Legends were easy to write after survivors forgot smoke, so she followed him while he inspected defenses. He asked why servant corridors were unmapped, marked ceremonial cannons useless, ordered carpets removed because blood made them slick, and saved a kitchen boy from a poisoned drone hidden in fruit. When Celira demanded how he had seen it, Elias tapped his temple. "I do not trust quiet things during war. Princess, quiet things are usually waiting." Then the first assassin fell from the ceiling. It wore the skin of a palace guard and struck for the Empress before anyone drew a blade. Elias moved like age had only been pretending. His rifle cracked once. The creature folded. His knife struck twice. The second assassin screamed from invisibility. And the third reached Celira before she could breathe. Elias took the blade meant for her throat through his palm, turned with it still inside him, and shot the creature under the jaw. Celira stared at his ruined hand. "You knew there were 3, she whispered. Elias wrapped the wound with his sleeve. "There are never only 2, Princess." The Vorker swarm arrived that night with hunger. Their ships unfolded above the capital like rib cages. Dropping legions into the districts, the shield failed in 17 places. The noble quarter tried to seal itself, and refugee gates jammed beneath panicked crowds. Empress Valeth ordered retreat to the bunker. But Elias refused to leave the central gate. "Your people are outside," he said. The Empress snapped that a ruler must survive. Elias looked at Celira, then at the thousands pressing forward. "No, Majesty, a ruler must be worth surviving for." That was when the princess chose her empire over her throne. Celira tore off her crown veil, seized a rifle from a dead guard, and ordered every royal soldier to open the gates. Nobles screamed betrayal, priests called it madness, but the city poured inward like a wounded sea. Elias became the hinge on which the night turned. He placed children beneath benches, sent engineers to flood the west tunnel, ordered cooks to carry ammunition every time the Vorker broke through. He was already there, bleeding, firing, smiling like a man meeting an old enemy at a narrow bridge. He did not fight like a duelist. He fought like architecture at midnight. The Swarm Queen spoke through palace speakers. "Human gatekeeper, we remember Havenfall." Elias reloaded with fingers that shook only when no one watched. "Good," he said. "Then you remember losing." The floor split open beneath the throne. A tunneling beast erupted into the hall. plated in white bone, carrying the queen's living mind. Imperial guards broke, admirals fled, even the empress stumbled backward. Elias handed his last magazine to Celera. "Aim for the small ones," he told her. "Leave the ugly one to me." The hall became thunder. Elias ran straight at the beast because there was no time for bravery to look beautiful. Its claws tore pillars apart, its scream shattered windows, and its shadow swallowed him whole. Celera fired until her arms went numb. Defending civilians who had once bowed and now clung to her armor like the last star, Elias climbed the beast with a knife. Lost the knife, climbed with his hands, lost 2 fingers, kept climbing. The queen opened its chest and showed him a pulsing core. "Come back to Havenfall," it whispered in dead voices. Elias pressed his bleeding forehead to the bone. "I never left." Then he pulled the grenade pins with his teeth. The explosion tore the beast in half, crushed the queen's signal, and turned the palace windows white when Celera woke. The swarm outside was screaming without orders. Crashing into itself, Elias lay beside the ruined throne, alive by rude human disagreement with death. His coat was gone, his rifle bent, his face gray. But when Celera crawled to him, he opened one eye and whispered, "Gate still holding, princess?" She laughed and cried at once. "Yes, Sergeant, the gate is holding, by dawn." The Vorker fleet was retreating. The capital was wounded but breathing. And the Star Empire learned why humanity sent one guard. Not because Earth had no army, but because protection was not always a wall of steel. Sometimes it was one exhausted human who had stood at the end of the world and refused to step aside. Empress Valeth offered gold command, even a noble house. Elias asked only that servant corridors be mapped and refugee gates widened. Celera placed her cloak over his shoulders. "The Empire asked for protection," she said. "Humanity sent a guard. And tonight, that guard taught us the difference between being defended and being worth defending."